Ghost mannequins create a great effect when you want to show off both the front and interior of a garment, as if the clothing were placed on an invisible mannequin. For this tutorial, you will need a photo of your product on a model or mannequin, a photo of your garment on a hanger showing the interior, and the latest version of Adobe Photoshop. Step 1. Set up your layers. Open the image of the garment shot on a mannequin or a model in Photoshop and double-click on the background layer to make the layer editable. Rename the layer Front. Now, create a new layer and place it behind the front layer. Name this layer Background. Then fill the new background layer with 100% black by typing Shift plus F5 or function Shift F5 on a Mac laptop, and choose Black next to Contents. Note, if you're working with a black garment, set the background color to 100% white instead. Creating a black background will help you see your selection accurately as you create it. We'll change this background color later as needed. Step 2. Select the background using the Magic Wand tool. Make sure the front layer in your Layers panel is selected. Select the Magic Wand tool from Photoshop's toolbar or press W on your keyboard. If you don't see the Magic Wand tool, it may be hiding behind the Object Selection tool or the Quick Selection tool. Click and hold on whichever of these selection tools is visible to reveal and select the Magic Wand tool. With the Magic Wand tool selected, you'll see two buttons at the top of the application window in the options bar. Select Subject and Select and Mask. Click on Select and Mask. If you get an error message saying nothing could be selected, make sure you're on the front layer. A preview window will appear, and what you see in that window depends on the view mode selected under Properties on the right-hand side of the screen. Make sure this view is set to On Layers, or Y. Click on the Select Subject button at the top of the screen. Photoshop will now attempt to figure out the subject of your photograph and then create a selection accordingly. If your original photograph has a solid background that's a different color from your garment, this selection will be pretty close to perfect. On the left-hand side of the preview window are tools you can use to help you work with the selection. If you need to refine the selection, such as the edge on the left-hand side of the dress in the image, you can paint along the edge of the selection using the Refine Edge Brush tool or the Brush tool on the left-hand side of the preview window. See the tutorial on the Magic Wand tool for a detailed explanation of Select and Mask. Step 3. Select the model using the Magic Wand tool. The next step is to remove the clothing from the mannequin or model in Photoshop. Select the Quick Selection tool, then choose Subtract from the options bar at the top of the preview window. Add and subtract look like dashed ellipses surrounded by plus and minus signs. Select the areas of the model that are still showing by clicking them in the preview window. These areas will disappear from view as you click on them. If you accidentally remove part of the garment as well, type Ctrl-Z or Command-Z on a Mac to undo, and then reduce the size option next to the Selection tool. The selection doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need to be refined enough for you to feel confident removing any additional pixels from the image using your Eraser tool. On the right-hand side of the preview window, move the slider for Shift Edge to the left, about 30%. This will move the selection inward slightly, helping remove any halo effects from the selection. Click OK. Step 4. Create Layer Mask. In your front layer, click on the mask icon at the bottom of the Layers panel to mask out the subject's background. Then select the mask icon next to the front layer icon. Choose the Eraser tool from the toolbar and make sure the foreground color is set to white and the background color is set to black. Erase out any portions of the model that are still visible. With the image we're using, the model's arms cover part of her skirt. we'll need to use the clone stamp tool to paint back portions of her skirt. After repairing sections of the skirt covered by the model's arms, you're ready for the second stage of the Ghost Mannequin Photoshop tutorial. Step 5. Create selections of the interior. It's time to break out that second image, the one that shows the interior of your garment, such as the neck. First of all, repeat steps 2 and 3 with the interior photograph so you have a selection of the garment itself. And then create the layer mask. Using the rectangular marquee tool, select the neck area of the garment. Type Shift-Control-C or Shift-Command-C on a Mac to copy the selection and the mask. In your front image, select the background layer and type Control-V or Command-V on a Mac to paste the selection. Name this new layer Neck. Type Control-T or Command-T on a Mac to scale or rotate your neck layer so the back of the neck lines up with the front of the neck and shoulders. Repeat this process with any other portions of the garment where the back of the garment should show. Step 6. Warp and clean up interior portions. This is the step that separates a good Photoshop ghost mannequin from a great Photoshop ghost mannequin. Remember the photo you had that you grabbed your garment's interior from lay flat, but you want those portions to look just as filled out as the front of your garment. You can use the Warp Transform tool to do the trick. Make sure you have the layer selected that you want to warp. Choose Edit, Transform, Warp to enable the Warp tool. Pull up on the center of the neck with the warp anchors to form a curve, as an actual neck would form. You can also use the tool to adjust any other discrepancies you see. Once you've adjusted the curve of the garment, use the Eraser tool to gently remove any areas that don't line up completely with the top edge of the neck. Repeat the process with other areas of the garment where the interior shows. Step 7. Darken interiors. In order to finalize the illusion that this photo was taken on an invisible mannequin, we need to add drop shadows to the interior portion of the garment. Select the neck layer in the Layers panel. Choose the Burn tool from the toolbar. If you don't see the Burn tool, it might be hiding behind the Dodge tool or the Sponge tool. Once the Burn tool is selected, you have several options in the options bar for what you want to darken: highlights, midtones, or shadows. Use your judgment over which of these options best suits the color of your garment. Then paint with the Burn tool over the areas of your garment's neck that would be in shadow. Repeat the Burn tool adjustments on any other layers where interior portions show. Step 8. Get the background color you want. You're almost done. Go back to your background layer and change its color to white or whatever other color you prefer. Since you used black when you created your selection, you can be confident that your ghost mannequin will look good in front of any color. Now your invisible mannequin photos are ready to go live on your website, Amazon storefront, and wherever else you sell your products. Check out our other Photoshop tutorials and don't forget to subscribe. Tired of fiddling with Photoshop? Outsource your ghost mannequin edits to our team of professionals. We complete every edit by hand and can have them back in as little as 6 hours. Go to pathedits.com to learn more.